Hello everyone, welcome to another video on Bloody Extra. I'm going to take you through the steps that I go through to produce the videos and the audio that you hear at the end of the day. Everything from the hardware, the setup, the helmet position and on the bike. I take it out in quite windy conditions. It's probably quite good that it was windy simply because it demonstrates the extent you can actually tart up the audio. I was on the Honda NC750X. Now I chose that bike specifically because it's the most noisy bike that I've got. It's worth noting that I'm in worst case conditions for recording audio on the motorcycle, and at 70 miles an hour it's audio I probably wouldn't use. It's pretty marginal. You make up your mind. Let's get started. Let's look at the hardware. Nice and simple, no cables, no nothing, all wireless. So we have the DJI Action 4 and we have the DJI Mic Mini. Connects wirelessly, simplifies everything, and it makes life so simple for the motorcycle vlogger. Simplicity itself. The settings on the camera are pretty straightforward. Transmitter gain is -12 and noise reduction is set to low. That's all I do on the camera. You'll notice here that this little light here, that indicates that noise reduction is on. Let's have a look at the Mimo app. There's only 3 settings for the mic, the mini mic. Auto off, power button for noise cancellation, and the LED setting. I have auto off turned off and I'll leave the other 2 switched on. Auto off caused me a little bit of a problem when it turned off during the recording, but since I've switched this off, it's working absolutely fine. Let's have a look at the helmet setup now. This is a K-Berg flip helmet. It was top of the line probably 18 months ago when I bought it, and inside the front you can see I've got some Velcro pads, one in the middle, one at the side, and I've got one of these magnetic strips. For a long time I used the center Velcro, however it catches all my breathing and sometimes I breathe like Darth Vader. It's because I have trouble breathing through my nose. In order to try and fix that, I've moved it to the side Velcro pointing away from my mouth, and it has helped a little bit. The main thing is it's not picking up my heavy breathing. I would say the audio is not quite so good in that position, but otherwise it seems to work well. And that's my helmet setup. Once again, very simple and straightforward stuff. I have 2 methods for post-editing the audio. One is a pretty simple one using the equalizer, and the second one is using some of the built-in tools, which we'll run through now. So let's have a look at option 1. So first of all, I highlight the clip, I press Q because I've got a shortcut set up, and I go to equalizer and it comes up. Now I've done a lot of work on this, and I know for me, if I set that to 4 and set that to 6, so that's the 250 and the 4K, and apply that and do OK, that that actually brings out the voice. It highlights the voice a bit better. I only ever use that when the actual video quality is good, there's not a lot of wind, and that works really well to bring out the voice just a little bit forward. A lot of testing I did with it, and that's what I came up with that works for me. Option 1. Option 2 is for when you get a lot of wind noise. So once again, you highlight, you press edit, you go up to the top, and you go to enhance, so it's audio, enhance, and go to speech enhancement. Now it calls it AI, but Power Director had speech enhancement before, and I've played about with this quite a lot. And if you set that to I found that if I set that to 20%, it takes a lot of the wind away but leaves the voice pretty much intact. I don't know what compensation does. I played about with it for a long time, but it didn't seem to make any difference whatsoever, like, at least not to my ears. And then if I apply that, you'll see that it's rendering a new clip. It will eventually replace the clip. Okay, that's the two tools that I use. I'm just going to now to play you a bit of video that highlights what that actually means in real life. Now remember, this is a really windy day. It's worst case scenario. In a lot of cases you probably wouldn't record that day because of the strength of the wind, but it's a good tool to show you how effective or otherwise this happens to be. Let's go and have a look. Well, you've seen the setup I've got and how it fits in my helmet and the connections and the settings on the camera. What's it like in real life? So there's a bit of a breeze today, you can maybe hear it, which is pretty good because it means I can show you some of the tricks I've got. I'm going to do a 30, a 50 and a 70 mile an hour, and then at the end I'll do a 40. So for that I need to go out of the city boundaries to get to 70. So here we are, we're doing an indicated speed of 30 miles an hour. It's quite a lot of tree coverage and stuff like that. So how does that sound? Does that sound okay for wind? I can hear a bit of wind across my helmet. Don't know how that will come out on the microphone. So that's 30 miles an hour, indicated speed. So here we are, we're doing an indicated speed of 30 miles an hour. It's quite a lot of tree coverage and stuff like that. So how does that sound? Does that sound okay for wind? I can hear a bit of wind across my helmet. Don't know how that will come out on the microphone. So that's 30 miles an hour, indicated speed. So here we are, we're doing an indicated speed of 30 miles an hour. It's quite a lot of tree coverage and stuff like that. So how does that sound? Does that sound okay for wind? I can hear a bit of wind across my helmet. Don't know how that will come out on the microphone. So that's 30 miles an hour, indicated speed. So now we're going to wait to do the 50 miles an hour. So I can get on here. We're good. So what does that sound like? Sun's in my eyes. That's a 50 mile an hour indicated speed. There or thereabouts. Sometimes there's speed cameras around the corner, so you just need to be careful. There's a little bit of road. There we go. So now we're going to wait to do the 50 miles an hour. So I can get on here. We're good. So what does that sound like? Sun's in my eyes. That's a 50 mile an hour indicated speed. There or thereabouts. Sometimes there's speed cameras around the corner, so you just need to be careful. There's a little bit of road. There we go. An indicated speed of 70 miles an hour. There we go. How does that sound? An indicated speed of 70 miles an hour. There we go. How does that sound? So we're on a 40 mile an hour limit now. We're at 41, 42 indicated speed. Bit of a crosswind, so it will be a bit blowy in the helmet. I can feel it. It's coming from the right hand side. What does that sound like? All the tests that have been done with the visor closed. So we're on a 40 mile an hour limit now. We're at 41, 42 indicated speed. Bit of a crosswind, so it will be a bit blowy in the helmet. I can feel it. It's coming from the right hand side. What does that sound like? All the tests that have been done with the visor closed. And there we have it. And that's how I do post editing on the audio. Now, it must be stressed that I've went out in the worst possible conditions with it blowing a gale. I'm on the noisiest bike that I've got because it's actually far better when I get clean air from the Royal Enfield and when I've got the screen up on the NT1100, but for some reason the NC is very noisy. But I picked it all for that so you can see the extent that we can do it. There are limitations to it, of course, and there's a lot of times I wouldn't use some of that, particularly the stuff once you get over 50 miles an hour. But then that's not what my videos are about. I'm usually about chugging about, and the main thing I aim for is that the audio is clean when it gets into the camera, because once it's in the camera and it's noisy, it's a hell of a job to try and clean it up. I'm not an audio engineer. I've not done any of that. All I've done is done a bit of research and looked to see what best I can do to improve the audio, and a lot of the times it seems to work, and I hope that has been useful for you. Now, Power Director is the application that I used. I'm sure there's other applications out there that's far better because it's a bit lightweight on the audio editing side of things. Alright, that's me for this one. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, bye for now.